Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is your city administrator, Chad Brecklin. Chad, welcome back to the show. How are you doing on this? It's been a really warm winter.
It has.
Like, extremely warm.
I am not sad about a warm winter, but I'm sure there are others who are disappointed in a warm winter since, those who may snowmobile, cross-country ski, snowshoe, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you do feel for the bit, especially up north. I mean, they have taken a beating this year.
Yeah, the economic impact will be significant.
Yeah, so, and I don't think, it's going to get better.
It's not looking that way.
Yeah, but that's not what we're here to discuss. We are here to discuss some other topics in Fitchburg. We do have some great topics here to discuss. We start with a possible referendum. We have a separate interview discussing the process and everything in here. But information went out the last week here of February explaining kind of the process here. You've talked about it on this show, but in the coming weeks, what are we going to be seeing here as far as this process?
Yeah, so in the coming weeks, immediately, our residents will see a survey arriving in their mailboxes on or about March 6th. We're working with a consultant that developed a survey to assess our community's interest in the priorities in which they want to see funded here in the city and what those priorities might look like in terms of on a potential referendum question later this year. So that survey also has varying dollar amounts in it, as well as an opportunity for folks to indicate they have no interest in supporting a referendum. So this information at this point in the process will be utilized by our Common Council and city staff to determine what the appropriate next steps might be. We hope to have the preliminary results from that survey provided to us at the Committee of the Whole meeting in April. I think it's April 27th at 7 p.m. here in the council chambers, and obviously you can view it on Fact TV live if you are so inclined.
Wow, this guy.
And we've talked on this show how we've got to this point, and I'm certainly happy to do that if you'd like me to. But otherwise, I think the big takeaway is right now is we really value our community's input, and the survey is an opportunity for our community to have a voice in this particular matter.
Yeah, and certainly I encourage you to watch all of the Talking Fitchburg interviews, but more importantly, there's a website dedicated to the information that Chad's discussed here. It's at our website, fitchburgwi.gov. You can check out, has the study on there, it has the full breakdown of what's going on, and we'll continue with the timeline and updates. But right now, we're in the feedback phase here, and looking forward to getting information from residents to council, and then we'll have a presentation coming up. But you'll be back here ahead of that, so we'll discuss on the process coming up. But you'll see those surveys here in the mail, and we want to make sure that they're coming. Yep. All right, strategic plan. Total different switch here.
Sure.
Not different in as where we're going here, but why is the city taking on a strategic plan?
So it's been identified the city has never had a strategic plan, and we think that it's important for staff, elected officials, and community members to ideally be able to reference a particular document that will help guide the way in which our tax dollars are spent, the way in which city staff spends its time and capacity and resources to implement and or carry out specific things, and then obviously for the council to help determine the appropriate policies and direction for staff. So this is an opportunity for the city to complete this plan. It'll be a 3 to 5 year staffing plan that it will be created. It's being funded through the ARPA TID closure investment plan, which we've talked about on your show as well before, Jeremy. And we put out a request for proposals, I think it was late last year, early this year. And we received 13 proposals from a variety of different consulting firms across the nation. The work group that's taking a look at that, of which you are a member, evaluated those proposals and selected 3 of those vendors to move on. The work group did an interview with those vendors, and we've slowly but surely narrowed it down to what's likely to be a selected vendor that will be negotiating some final terms of a contract that will ideally be presented to the Common Council in March for approval.
In similar fashion, too, a strategic plan, as mentioned, has a lot of different things that are incorporated in it, and it's getting feedback into this too is going to be really important in this process as well. And how does this vary from like a comprehensive plan or any other plan that we're doing in Fitchburg? Which I'm sorry, that's a big loaded question there, but
Well, we do have a lot of plans, and whether you're talking about our bike and pedestrian plan or an economic development plan, or as you mentioned, our comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plan deals with land use and future land use and how we're going to grow as a community. Economic development obviously has more of an economic development focus, and all these other plans typically have, maybe a more singular focus to them. And the strategic plan, at least as I view it, is kind of the umbrella plan that they all generally reside under, with maybe the minor exception being the comp plan, since there's a statutory requirement to have the comp plan. So I think what the strategic plan will help us do is it will provide an opportunity for staff to offer input, our elected officials to offer their input, and our community members to offer their input to help us determine, again, what our priorities are moving forward over the next 5 years. What could those be? Are those ensuring that our roads are resurfaced and maintained on a regular schedule, ensuring that there's adequate staffing in City Hall, providing additional services that we don't necessarily provide right now. It'll be interesting to hear what the feedback is and ultimately what is incorporated into the strategic plan. And then, I'm sure there may be, components to these other plans that are out there, or at least a reference to recognize, okay, as part of, any sort of strategic goals related to economic development, for instance, referencing that plan that's in there. So again, that's how I kind of view the strategic plan as kind of that overall umbrella of plans for the city.
It is. It's going to be nice to see it come together. A lot of input. We're going to need your input coming up, so keep your eye on it, and we'll look forward to sharing more information as we move on the process on that hard turn, because we've got to keep going on our info here. Did want to ask you just quickly on the police facilities update. We know that for now, we're just kind of in a holding pattern, but what does that process look like moving forward, or where are we at as status-wise?
Yeah, so you may recall on February 13th of the Common Council meeting, there was a resolution approving to approve schematic and programmatic design of the police facility. That resolution did not obtain the necessary two-thirds vote that's required due to a budget amendment that was needed to fund that project as presented in the resolution. So that effectively leaves the project with the previously identified through the capital improvement planning process $35 million. So where it stands now is the design team is currently looking at the programmatic and schematic design that was recently submitted and determining if there are significant modifications and adjustments that could be made to the existing plan that would have it better align with the $35 million that was identified in the capital improvement plan, or if not, looking to likely have to redesign that facility within that $35 million budgetary number.
And we'll see updates coming down the road when we have them here, but at least you got a quick update there. And do want to get in elections as well. So elections, it's a big year for elections.
Yeah.
And our staff are gearing up for that in the clerk's department. Just as we get closer here in our, what would be, I believe, our spring election. Make sure I say these right. Coming up here in April, absentee ballot. So you announced last night at council. So just quickly here, folks know that absentee voting will be starting here.
Right. Yeah. Our spring election is, as you mentioned, right around the corner in early April, and in-person absentee balloting is available here at the City Hall, 5520 Lacey Road, beginning on March 19th. And running through March 29th, weekdays. And I would encourage folks, if they're interested in voting in-person absentee, that they check our website or contact the clerk's office for the specific hours in which those in-person absentee voting is available.
Yeah, and you can go to the myvote.wi.gov, and there's a link on our website to learn and sign up for absentee voting. And if you need an absentee ballot, all of that information is done through the MyVote website, so you can check out that. We'll have updates too on a regular newscast, not just Chad stealing the thunder here now. He does a great job, but definitely check out our website, fitchburgwi.gov. You can check on the clerk's page elections. You know how much time I navigate this site? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
A lot of good information.
You know your way around the website.
I know my way around. All right, Chad, thank you so much for navigating everything today. We'll look forward to having you back next month.
Thanks, Jeremy.